Hey, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Yes, it's the time again, with us in Revival Clinic, Kota Kemuning. So I'm Dr. Jeff here, having a live again with every one of you. Welcome, everybody. Good afternoon. Okay, we can wait for a while. So meanwhile, we let more people join us. And before we start, today we will be talking about a very interesting topic called heavy metal toxics. I believe there are many people who probably not really have paid attention or get to know about this. Let's get the chance to see and to explain more regarding this heavy metal toxins in our body, which is actually closely related to our health. So especially who have allergic issue, eczema problem, and also aging problem. Yes, something to do with heavy metal toxicity in our body. And today we'll be discussing about this topic. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, So heavy metals is a word that actually we probably came across, heard about it before, but what is it really about? Many people may not know about heavy metals, and they are not really even realize that heavy metals is closely related to our body health, and also we are part of it, or we are like exposing to it, which without us realizing it. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we will be talking about this heavy metal toxicity in our body, and which is potentially a risk that you are having, which you do not know, and which are the main your illnesses, especially allergic problem. So let's pay attention and to get to know more about this heavy metal toxicity in our body. Okay, and welcome everybody again to our live Facebook Live every Wednesday, 1 to 2 p.m. And I'm Dr. Jeff from Revival Clinic. It's nice to see every one of you here. And thank you for joining. I hope you will get some information from today's live. And if you have any questions related to this topic of heavy metal, or any problems or questions related to your own health issue, I welcome every one of you to post your questions here in the comment, and I will answer one by one. Okay. All right. So heavy metals is actually a very common elements appearing or existing in our nature. But the thing is, these heavy metals is also polluting or sort of like getting into our body without us realizing. Why it is so? Because nowadays our globe, our Earth itself is actually highly polluted. A lot of industrial sort of like changes, factories, a lot of food, are also more on like processed, and also the lifestyle that we are in, are also as highly depending on a lot of processed materials, and also our environment are also more tends to have more or heavier or even higher index of these heavy metals content, which we are inside this environment and we do not know, but these heavy metals are slowly accumulating in our body and may potentially causing illnesses, aging, or even allergic issue without us realizing it at all. When it happens to have this allergic or sort of like illnesses, probably it's already too late. Okay, yes. So let's get to know what is heavy metals and what are the common heavy metals that usually we are highly exposure to, and what are the problems, that it will cause, and what are the sources of food or sources of things that we contact with daily, which can expose us to contact with this heavy metal, and this heavy metal will slowly accumulates in our human body. Okay, so Ladies and gentlemen, today I listed down about 6 types of heavy metals which commonly found in our environment and also do accumulates in our human body slowly, subtly without us realizing. Okay, so here probably some of it you heard about, some of it you may not heard about. Yeah. So first of all, okay, we're talking about cadmium. Yeah, cadmium. So there are also other heavy metals like mercury. Okay, yeah, beside cadmium, arsenic. Okay, chromium, thallium, and also lead. Yeah. So these are the common heavy metals that do appears in our body, and we are highly exposure to these heavy metals in our environment. And these are the heavy metals that can slowly causing some detrimental health issue if the level in our body are accumulating over certain limits. And in long run, actually heavy metals do cause our body to age faster and causing a lot of diseases or illnesses without us realizing. Yeah. So we will explain one by one. Okay. It's not going to be very complicated. I make it simple to understand. Okay. I will be talking or discuss briefly about each item of these heavy metals. Yeah. Then we will get to know more. Okay. Of course, since we realize that these heavy metals do causing harm to our body, of course, later on I will discuss also on certain treatment. Okay. What are the available treatments uh, enough or sort of like able to reduce the heavy metals accumulation in our body and also to improve our health. Okay, so first we start by this cadmium. Okay, cadmium, as you can see on this diagram, is actually one of the okay, I don't know how to call it. Is the skill, the chemistry skill that you probably learned from your secondary school. Okay, cadmium is where having their atom weight, which is on the heavy side. So that's why they call heavy metals. Yeah. So this cadmium, okay, surprisingly, when I do the research to find and to study more on these heavy metals, okay, surprisingly to see that there are actually many kind of foods that we are taking almost routinely daily are highly exposure or carrying a high risk of this pollution from these heavy metals, which we do not realize and which it is existing every day. And for example, cadmium is actually appearing in our tobacco, the smoke. If you are like living together who next to another person who are smoker or you yourself is a smoker, you are exposing yourself to the cadmium pollution. Yeah. So this cadmium probably, it could be a very low level in the tobacco smoke. Okay. But if you imagine if you take it every day, so even though it's not sort of like high level in one puff or one cigarette, but the thing is if you take every day or routinely, continuously over years, then this accumulation of cadmium could be significant. So these are the things that appearing in our body, in our environment. For example, another kind of common source of cadmium is from cereal. You imagine those food that are available in the supermarket selling to us, with cereal. Probably they have gone through a very strict quality control to make sure that do not contains any heavy metals. But in fact, this food guideline of their quality control, most of the time, they have a certain limits which is allowable for the this kind of content, which means it cannot be like 100% zero contents of heavy metals, but it could be acceptable in certain amount, which is like very low, okay, and only very minimal amount of heavy metals inside, and the food is acceptable as a quality food. But the thing is, if you always take this same food again and again, this small amount can be sikit-sikit jadi bukit. It will be slowly accumulating in our body, and when it is accumulating more and more, and imagine heavy metal is not one type; it could be two, or even now we are listing now about 6 types, the common one, but there are many more. So imagine you are accumulating a little bit there, a little bit here, a different kind of heavy metals. So how is our bodies going to be? It will be highly congested with a lot of heavy metals. Yeah. here and there, and it is causing a significant detrimental effect on our body. Yeah, so that's why it is quite significant and worth to consider getting to know more about it. Yeah, so cadmium is commonly found from tobacco, from cereals product, and those friends, workers who are working in welding factory, or those factory who are processing batteries. For example, nowadays a lot of electrical car or electrical motor or electrical bicycles. Many things use battery, so and electrical sort of like items. So a lot of dependency on battery production. So more and more factories that are producing battery. So more factories producing batteries and more workers in the factory. Those then more people are exposing to this battery processing sort of process. And during this process, the person or the workers are highly exposed themselves to cadmium. Yeah. And of course, other common sort of like industrial processing, including plastic, a lot of coating. If you are in the industry of coating, car tinted coating or any windows tinted coating or any solar panels production, now we are talking about this new green energies. So our government and also in the whole world is actually promoting solar energy so that to preserve petroleum and to try to use reusable kind of energy. But then on the other hand, when we produce solar panels to sort of like generates energy, solar energy, those production industrial process will also contributes to cadmium accumulations and exposure to the workers that actually contacts with it. So you see, these are something just inside our lifestyle or inside our environment, our society, which you may be one of it and you are not realizing about it. So again, cadmium coming from tobacco, cereals, item. Actually, there are many more. So listed down in the photos here, those nuts, yes, also could be potentially having high amount of cadmium, which you do not realize. So if you're always taking this kind of food, it's healthy food, yes, but on the other hand, you are accumulating or consuming this cadmium without you realizing, and slowly, a little bit by a little bit accumulation, and it causing you aging. Okay, so cadmium is one of it. Another second heavy metals is also very commonly seen in our environment called mercury. So whoever have any dental filling before, the older generation who did amalgam, then that use the mercury. I believe many of my dentist friends who are now in their practice are discouraging people to use mercury. There's definitely a particular reasons. Of course, is to avoid our body consuming this kind of mercury. Okay, but on the other hand, there is also another consideration, because the dentist or the staff of a dentist clinic itself who are actually contacting with mercury to produce the amalgam filling will also expose themselves to the mercury accumulation. So it's also a kind of occupational hazard. So in this sense, actually, a lot of industry, including dentist industry, are in reducing the use of mercury. Okay, so mercury is very commonly seen, commonly found from seafood. Okay, especially seafoods, coming from deep sea or shellfish or any seafood contain shells. Okay, those are the sources of food contains high amount of mercury. So this is one of it. Another thing is the industrial processes. Many industry actually uses mercury, and also the workers in the industry are exposing to mercury easily. Okay, so mercury is one of the very common heavy metals that we come to contact almost routinely every day. So this is something very very sort of like important to pay notes and to pay attention. If let's say your body are exposing to mercury every day and slowly becoming more and more, so you are aging faster than the rest of other people, then you probably do not realize of. Okay, here I'm talking about here all are like a slow accumulation of heavy metals compared to let's say heavy metals intoxication. Means if you are highly exposed to heavy metals in sort of like in one episode, for example, you are taking or consuming high amount of heavy metals in one shot, that is actually risk of life threatening. Yeah, so heavy metals has life threatening if it is intoxication in an acute manner. But what I'm talking about today is more rather on those slow accumulation which our body expose or get contact with it, yeah, every day routinely, and those sources like fish, shellfish, or your industry worker or any dental amalgam or dentist officers are contacting with mercury every day, but they are not intoxicated in their acute manner, but they probably are absorbing, okay, or sort of like get contact with this mercury or heavy metals slowly over time, and this heavy metal was slowly accumulating in the body and causing the damage or detrimental problems to the body. Okay, so these are the important points that we need to pay notes. Okay, another common heavy metals here I'm talking about called arsenic. Yeah, probably you have not really heard about all these funny names. Yeah, but the thing is, it is common. It is common. Yeah, so arsenic is also one of it. Where does it commonly found? Okay, arsenic actually very surprising to say that when I did the research to see where are the common sources of arsenic, actually in the water, in the soil, and the most common food that we may get arsenic, yeah, which is from the rice that you are taking every day. If you take rice every day, the rice contain arsenic, and the amount probably very minimal, which you may not get harmed immediately by the arsenic. But the thing is, if you eat every day, so imagine those arsenic accumulating in our body, causing the accumulation in our body. So you may not say that, I'm not in an industry worker, I'm not working in a site or sort of industry factory, so I may not contest with heavy metals. Probably you are wrong actually, because the food that we are taking routinely daily actually also have a lot of heavy metals. Yeah. So another very surprising finding is also from water. Yeah, so water, that even some studies shows that the bottled water that we drinks in a sort of like you buy one bottle of mineral water, most of the water studies also found to have certain amount of arsenic inside, the water itself. So imagine you are drinking it, and it may not cause you any harm immediately, but the thing is over time it may be accumulating in your body and causing aging. So you see, our earth now is more highly polluted compared to 10 years, 20 years, 30 years ago. Yeah, I believe in the near future, another 5 years, 10 years, there are more and more risk of pollution and more risk of exposure in our body to those heavy metals. So imagine those food that actually we are taking every day also contain this heavy metal. So we can't get away from it. Yeah. So best for us is to get to know about it and to realize, what are the potential that we are exposing to, and then what we can do for it. Okay. What we can do about it. Okay. Yeah. So important arsenic, you see. Okay. Soy actually, you see, sometimes we a lot of foods actually produce, we can't be like 100% sort of like avoiding any soy. Any fruits, vegetable are planted on soil. So you see, they definitely high content of arsenic in even the vegetable itself. So you cannot be having say, my vegetable has quality control, so it has no arsenic. Impossible. Yeah, we are preferring organic. Some organic you plant on the soil, soil contain arsenic, which you may not know, and it has not gone through any quality control. So it's impossible to go through any quality control. So the fruits, the vegetables you are taking, which may contain these heavy metals, even the farmer also, they do not realize of it, and we are consuming it every day. Yeah. So not only heavy metals, you imagine those food that we are taking also contains other pesticide lah, other kind of hormones lah, things like that. So just heavy metal alone already giving so much of problem. Somehow how about those other kind of pesticide and chemicals or hormones? And also another sense of consideration is the way of cooking. High sugar lah, high oily fried food lah, a lot of we call it trans fat lah. So causing another detrimental problems to the health. So you see, the food is actually one of very important factors to get to know how to eat healthily, how to prevent our health, how to maintain our health. Everything first come from the food. Yeah. So today we are not talking about food, but more on heavy metals. Yeah. But surprisingly, there are many research evidence shows that heavy metals coming actually through the food, not only environmental exposure. Yeah. Okay. Very surprisingly. Okay. So another heavy metals I would like to mention to everyone of you also called chromium. Okay, chromium. Okay, chromium. Another very surprising. If you like to take broccoli, yeah, broccoli is considered one of the food that contain highest amount of chromium. Okay, so very surprisingly, so broccoli itself is a very healthy vegetable that I encourage for everyone and who like to take more protein based, and broccoli contain high protein. So the thing is, broccoli also contain high chances of chromium accumulation. Yeah. So another source of food that can contains high chromium are from meat or any sort of internal organs. Consider liver, for example, liver also contains high risk of content in chromium as content. So these were, if you always take this kind of food, you should highly aware of. Yeah, probably your body do have these heavy metals, including chromium. Wine itself, yeah, imagine wine contain chromium. Yes, there is studies and evidence shows that wine, yeah, contain chromium. Okay, and another very surprisingly, I would say, it's like whole wheat. Yeah, if we are always taking like whole wheat kind of like products, yeah, then we are actually taking chromium. Yeah, okay. Again, who are just joining us, yeah, I try to sort of like explain properly. It's not saying that you take this food means you were exposed to chromium intoxication. No, but this food in averagely contains slightly higher this kind of heavy metals like broccoli, meat, liver, wine, or whole wheat. It contains higher level of chromium, and chromium is considered one kind of heavy metals. So if we always take this kind of food, okay, which we supposed to take, yeah, healthily for, I mean, broccoli, things like that. But the thing is, our body are exposing to heavy metals which we do not realize of it. Yeah. So that's why it's important to talk about these heavy metals. Yeah. Okay. Stainless steel processes. Yeah. So stainless steel is part of a very highly demanded steel for decoration, for our lifestyle, yeah, use. Yeah. Even in our sort of like cookware, things like that. So the processes of stainless steel production actually uses sort of like this produces a lot of chromium. So the workers who are involved in these processes of this stainless steel are also highly exposure to chromium. Of course, industrial based kind of exposure will contains higher amount of heavy metals exposure content compared to the food that we are taking. All right. So chromium is one of it. Okay. Another important heavy metals we're talking about is called thallium. Okay. Thallium, very surprisingly, I found that it carry the most in cabbage. One of a very common vegetable that we are taking almost daily. Cabbage contains thallium. Yeah. And the thallium is one of the heavy metals. Beside mercury, it can absorb into our body through derma, means through the skin contact. So imagine not only consuming, but you handles the food contacts. Yeah. So you also can have, if the food or the sauce have high amount of thallium, it can seep through your skin and it will accumulate and deposit inside our body. So heavy metals has this one special characters that it can go through our derma or skin absorption, not only through our oral consumption. So this is how we say dangerous, dangerous, or how harmful, or how sort of like aggressive heavy metal can go into our body without us able having any ability to resist it. Heavy metals just come from anywhere that around you, which you may not able to resist it at all. Yeah, from the food, the food that you're taking, from the skin contacts, yeah, from the environment that you're working in, yeah, working in. So these are the exposure or the sort of like problems that we are facing now. Yeah, especially now our earth are highly polluted. So we have to know more about this so that we can see whether anything we can do to cope with it and to improve our health better. All right. Okay. So radish and turnip, yeah, one of the common kind of sauce for vegetables, yeah, also contains thallium. Okay. So another source of heavy metals very commonly known as lead. Okay, so whoever notice sometimes, hey, where did you heard about this lead? If you ever see the petrol, they always label it as unleaded. Okay, petrol. So petroleum actually contains lead. So the processing actually sort of extract it out so that it contains no lead, or else this petrol when it's burning uh, in the car every day, so the lead will just get polluted all over in our environment. So it's very harmful. Okay, so that's why petroleum has to be processed and become unleaded. Okay, but lead also can come from a lot of other sources, which is actually inside our daily routine. Yeah, especially one of the common source is from the children toys and jewelry. Yeah, for example, in this photo, you see a lot of toys in children. Yeah, like this kind of material. They actually, especially those low grade, sort of like quality for toys, you see, sometimes toys are parents, they are not willingly to spend high amount of money, yeah, just buying the toy because children just want to play and just pay one time and throw away. So sometimes there are many choices of toy which is cheaper, and a lot of parents may consider, yeah, to buy and show to the children maybe one time, two times, and they throw away. But the thing is, these toys processing sort of like manner do actually makes a toy do contain certain amount of lead, and if the children are exposed to this toys a lot, the lead accumulation in the body can cause some detrimental issue to the health. All right. Okay. Another source of lead is also coming from pain. Okay. You see, if you are a pain worker, or if you are like always contact with pain, okay, no matter how, yeah, then you probably also can expose yourself to this lead accumulation, yeah, in the body. Okay. Home remedies and cosmetic product. Okay, a lot of beauty product, cosmetic product, okay, or facial remedies, which homemade, they may contains the lead, which we did not realize of it. Nowadays, there are many commercial products available on the market, made from local or homemade, okay, which the material they use, which may not gone through a sort of like quality control of sort of like analysis. So that contain lead, and once you use it on the skin, on your face, on your body, then you are absorbing through your skin on this lead, and lead will slowly accumulate in our body, which we may not realize, and we are exposing to it every day. Okay. Another very common source of lead also coming from a ceramic, pottery, or crystal, which usually if you do have hobbies of doing this ceramic or pottery, or if you always like to handle some crystals, then it also carries a lot of lead together with these items. So we are exposing to it, we are contacting with it every day. Okay, so you see, heavy metals are just around us. We are inside it and inside this environment with these heavy metals. Okay, so many types of heavy metals which we can't get away with. Yeah, and what does it really cost to our body? Okay, so in summary, to say, these heavy metals actually cause quite a detrimental effect on our body health. Severe condition, okay, it may cause even a birth defect. If a baby pregnant, then after that deliver some birth defect, risk is there. And of course, risk of cancers is higher, who have higher heavy metal in the body. And most significant studies initially early on these heavy metals accumulation in the body or intoxication is where it causes a nerve damage. A lot of people who like to take seafood or deep sea seafood, shell food, they're actually having higher risk of Alzheimer, dementia, okay, which they have loss of memory, poorer function in their memory, in their attention. It's because of these heavy metals actually causing damage on the nerves, and the nerves damage could be significant damage and could be permanent damage. So that's why it's very important, and there are many sort of these kind of illnesses. Even conventional medical treatment is not able to treat it, because heavy metals, if it is accumulating in our body, the damage is actually slow and ongoing, it's not acute. So not any sort of like medical examination or investigation can really figure out whether those Alzheimer or dementia or any aging memory problem are due to heavy metals. There's no exact proof, yeah, or evidence that can actually shows that these heavy metals cause it. But evidence on the other side has proven heavy metals, yeah, do have a detrimental damage on our nerves and our body. Okay, so this is why we need to opens up our spectrum of view so that we can see the whole scenario better. So we need to prevent it ourselves. We need to do more prevention rather than let this thing happens and damage or causing this aging problem. And at the end of the day, when you got these illnesses, it could be too late and conventional treatment could not really do much on it. Yeah. So nerves disorder, skin lesions. Yeah, something I would like to slightly emphasize more is skin lesion, including a lot of sensitive issue, including eczema, psoriasis, a lot of autoimmune diseases. Yeah, in the skin problem are also very highly related to this heavy metals accumulation in the body. Yeah, so if you are taking those food that I mentioned just now, or your living environment are highly exposure to this kind of heavy metals, then even the children itself also could have early sign of skin allergic problem. Okay, so which is something very closely related to every one of us. Yeah, so we should not be like sort of ignorance. We should get to know more about this. Yeah, and hormone and immune dysfunction. Yes, one of a very commonly proven heavy metals problem to the body. Okay, who has these heavy metals accumulation in the body, they are also having higher chance of hormone aging and also weaker immune system over time. Yeah, one of the best studies of these hormones sort of like problem is actually related to thyroids. Yeah, so one of a very important hormone that actually can easily cause or sort of aging due to heavy metals problems. Okay, and okay, just now when I'm talking about the nerves, one of the proven link that heavy metals causes nerve damage is autism in the children. Yeah, autism is one of the very commonly found problems of mental development, or problematic development of children. And the main cause underlying of the autism is also highly related to heavy metals. Okay, so that's why it is there, but conventional treatment may not really able to do something or anything to it. But if you understand the main cause, there is treatment or options for the improvement and deduction of our heavy metal in the body. Okay, hormone dysfunction, immune dysfunction, weaker immune system if you're having higher heavy metal level in the body, gut and kidney problems, leaky gut condition, poor gut functioning, okay, poorer kidney functioning are also due to heavy metals accumulation in the body. So heavy metals can affect almost every single part of on our body. Yeah. So brain, our eyes, our skin, okay, even our hairs, our kidney, our livers, our guts, okay, and also a lot of cancer risk, immune problems, and also hormone problems. So it is something very important to get to know, and that's why we are talking about it here lah. Okay, so since we know heavy metals is there and we are exposing to it, okay, which we can't even resist it or sort of do anything on it, and it does cause a lot of aging problems. So what we can do? So treatment, okay. So one of the most proven evidence-based treatment, we call it chelation. Yeah, it may be quite a new terms for some of you here who heard about or never heard about chelation. You may type this word in a Google and get to know more about chelation. Yeah, and it will give you a rough idea what is chelation. But simple to say, chelation even been used in the industry feel that actually is a chemical terms of sort of like reaction to describe where there is some ionizing of the metals being sort of like ligand to another molecules, kind of things like that. Okay, so chelation is one of the techniques to reduce the heavy metals in the body. Okay, so chelation actually has been done for more than 30, 40 years back in the medical, but there is definitely a needs of sort of like professional trained skills to carry out this chelation treatment to patients, and also the indications why it needs a chelation. So then chelation also got different types of methods. Some go through oral, some go through IV intravenous infusion. There are many methods and also pro and cons amongst it, and also sort of comparison. Some works better, some less effective, some more effective. Yeah, but in overall, chelations is considered one of a good choice to reduce our heavy metals in the body, and the benefits of it. Okay, yeah, the benefits of chelation actually is actually wide spectrum, and most importantly is to detoxify our heavy metals. So once you reduce the heavy metals accumulation in the body, you may gain benefits of improving your organs functioning. You probably will feel healthier, feel more energetic. Yeah, feel your attention, your memories slowly becoming better. Yeah, and also definitely it will improve your immune system, improve your hormone functioning. Yeah, so the effect may not be immediate. Let's say if you did a chelation therapy, yeah, the effect may not be immediate, but over time your body was becoming healthier because your heavy metals level when it's reduced or lesser in the body, definitely our cells, our organs will be able to have a better or healthier environment to work in. Then definitely your health will improve over time. Yeah. So it's not something that you take a supplement and you want to fuse it, you want to really seize the effect. Rather, chelation is a therapy that once you did, you don't feel anything, but over some time your health will improve, and that improvement that you will feel after that. Yeah. Okay. Anyone who have this gut issue, constipation, always has bloated problem, or always have leaky gut condition, allergic issue, yeah, chelation therapy is one of a good choice to improve the gut system, reduce the heavy metals in the guts, and also reduce the heavy metals that causing the autoimmune problem, allergic problem. One of a very, having a lot of evidence-based treatment to prove the efficacy, to improve all these aspect of problems. Okay, so and many more. Many more, yeah. There are some studies to shows that chelations, if it is properly done in a plan and also a certain protocol, it actually can also reduce atherosclerosis. That means blood vessels blockage in the body. Yeah, but these are varies among. I mean, the result varies among individuals. Okay, but overall, heavy metals reduction does cause or brings in a lot of benefits. Okay, to the body. Okay, as we know the harm of accumulating heavy metals in the body, that we are now unavoidable. We are higher. We are in it. We are already in it. We can't get away from it. Okay, but the thing is, with chelation, at least we can do something with it to reduce the heavy metals level in the body. Yeah, so then we can at least do something to improve our health or to prevent our aging. Okay, so next. Okay, what are the common indication I usually will recommend chelation therapy as part of a complementary or adjunctive treatment? Very commonly seen in eczema, psoriasis, or any autoimmune diseases, regardless skin autoimmune, for example, including psoriasis, all those alopecia areata, vitiligo kind of condition. Autoimmune diseases in systemic problem like rheumatoid arthritis, SLE, multiple sclerosis also could be one of indication to consider heavy metals reduction treatment in the body. A lot of degenerative diseases, in older age group who are having dementia, poorer memory, poorer energy. It's worth to consider this heavy metal reduction because the older person, usually the older you are, the more heavy metals accumulation in the body, definitely, yeah. So that's why older people who have this degeneration disease or problems, it's worth to consider heavy metals reduction in the body, to improve their health overall. Okay, yeah. So hey, Janice Ang is saying hi. Okay, hi. Okay, and cancers, yeah, anyone who have this cancers problem, all right, whether it's having a cancer or already cured from cancers, heavy metal reduction is actually one of the good choice of options or treatment to maintain the health, to prevent the cancers reoccurrence, or even to improve the cancers in a better way. All right. Yeah, leaky gut syndrome, any problems with the gut issue, constipation, bloated, gastric issue, and also having correlatively in allergic problem, then you are probably having leaky gut condition, and worth to consider this heavy metal reduction, yeah, of this chelation therapy. Yeah, Alzheimer, dementia, or any memory or nerves problem, cardiovascular diseases, yeah, yes, thyroid problems, yeah, who have this thyroid issue, you can consider, but it's not like mainstay treatment. It's not saying that, oh, this chelation is a cure for thyroid problem. But if you do have some subtle subclinical problem, you can do chelation to improve it. But if you do have some thyroid problem, you may need some treatment first. Means the problem has developed, so you need to treat it. But simultaneously, you can do chelation to improve your problem better. Yeah. So hormone imbalance issue, yeah, ladies and gentlemen who have hormone imbalance problem can also consider this heavy metals reduction. Autism in the children, yeah, also can do this heavy metal reduction, and many more. Okay, these are the common indication that we do usually see, and chelation do brings benefits to them. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, I welcome every one of you to ask more. Okay, this is a very brief explanation and sort of like topics talking about heavy metals. The most important ideas or the understanding I would like to bring out is actually because it is heavy metals, it is something really within our environment. We are within this environment, we are exposing to it. Yeah, you can't get rid of it, you can't resist it, you can't do anything from getting yourself avoiding exposing or absorbing this heavy metal. As long as you live on earth, you are potentially having heavy metals in the body. The difference is whether more or less only. Yeah, but even more or less, no matter how, when you are living longer in the on the earth, the more you accumulate, definitely. So the more you accumulate, the more problematic that these heavy metals will bring to your body. And in summary, to say, it causes almost all the organs affect. So significant one, nerve damage, okay, hormone and immune problems, and also gut and kidney problems, okay, and severe one can cause even birth defect and also cancers problem. So you see, living as a human on the earth, okay, we know these are the main pollution that we are exposing ourselves to. So how to cleanse it out from our body? That's why I'm introduced to you this we call chelation therapy, to improve. But of course, there are certain indication we highly recommend. But for overall general health and prevention, that is also possible or safe to do for prevention. Okay, yeah. So the benefits and indication, okay. Overall, the treatment is considered safe and effective as long as the method of chelation, dosing, and ingredients of a chelation are properly done. Uh, and the regime of treatment is also properly planned. Yeah. And chelation therapy is only done under a professional personnel who are trained for it. Okay. So as long as all this fulfilled, then chelation therapy can be done safely. Yeah. So the indication usually appointed, let's say, for this particular diseases, eczema, psoriasis, then is worth to consider consulting a professional personnel for recommendation. How many sessions, how long, and what are the treatment methods, yeah, preferable. Yeah. So to make sure the effectiveness. Yeah. So chelation or sort of like heavy metals reduction is one of the treatment has very long history and evidence to prove the efficacy and safety. But on the other hand, it has to also make sure that the method, the ingredients, the regime has to be done accordingly to individuals and also done under a professional personnel. So these are the important things to take notes to make sure that the treatment is done in the effective manner and also to make sure the safety profile of the treatment. All right. So thank you very much. Yeah, almost come to the end of my presentation today. So it's very brief, simple, but to make you all aware of it. All right. So I hope if you have any question, you can comments here and let me answer. And I hope that you at least get some information or sort of new knowledge about your health and how to do about it. Okay. And if you're interested to get to know more or to try this chelation or immune, we call it heavy metals reduction, yes, you are welcome to contact us through this phone 017-781-5237, either for consultation online or for in-person consultation. Yeah, so you're welcome. All right. So if you have any more questions related to this heavy metals, heavy metals reduction or heavy metals issue, yeah, you can contact us through the phone or through our Facebook, okay, and also come to see us in person and get to know more. Yeah, it's, it's actually just information sharing to let everyone or more people get to know about this problem in our health consideration. All right. So I hope after listening to today's live, you know what to do. What are the food that it's not saying you can avoid anything, but try to do something which if you think that you are on the risky side, then maybe you should examine whether you need a chelation or in heavy metal reduction treatment for your body. Yeah. If you are looking forward to have a more thorough health prevention on anti-aging or to improve your health, or even if you are fighting or sort of like dealing with certain illnesses that you are keen or look forward to have some treatment to improve better on your health, which conventional treatment may not really do any much benefit for you, and then you may consider this to look into heavy metals reduction and to see whether it is suitable or something useful for you. All right. So thank you very much for all the audience who joined us, and thank you for staying with us until end of this session. And thank you really, appreciate for your participation. And I hope next week I have a chance to bring another new topic to you, to every one of you, to share more information for your knowledge. Okay. Thank you again, and I hope to see you next week. All right. So stay with us every Wednesday, 1 to 2 p.m. is our live session, and we'll see you again on next week. Thank you very much. Bye bye.